Hey guys, my name's Sam and welcome to Prep Medic. As many of you know, I've moved out to Colorado and one of the new roles I've taken on is a member of the All Hazards Response Team, which is a special team dedicated to search and rescue and disaster response. So because of that, today I'm going to be going through my search and rescue kit bag by Hill People Gear. Alright guys, so like I just said, today we are going over my chest rig for my All Hazards Response Team operations. Now I'm going to point out that our primary responsibility is not SAR. A lot of what we do is wilderness first aid. We'll assist SAR teams if they need a medic, we'll put one on them. We'll also deploy with rigs to natural disasters or man-made disasters around the nation. So that's a lot of what we do. In this kit is a lot of stuff that I have kind of determined would make my life easier on some of these deployments. We did a ultra marathon, we staffed it for first aid, and there were a lot of items hiking into some of these trails that I really wished I had on me. And that's kind of what dictated what goes into this kit. You know, shelter, rations, a lot of the other bigger stuff or major medical equipment is all carried with us in backpacks. This is just my chest rig that I can keep on me no matter what. So the kit itself is the SAR kit bag from Hill People Gear. Really solid kit. On the front you've got some MOLLE here. I do want to get a radio pouch that I can put my radio pouch up here instead of on my belt. Hook loop field up here, and I just have a med patch on there now. I have one coming with my designation number that's going to fit right here. And then at the bottom you'll see there's some MOLLE webbing too, and I want to get a knife that kind of sits under there, just something that's easy to draw and use if I need the tool. The straps are pretty solid. On the back, you've got this mesh liner, goes around your back, super comfortable. I mean, this thing's pretty heavy. I've got it loaded up, and I've got no issues hiking with this, running with this, whatever I need to do. You have two Grimlocks here, and these can be used to secure to a Hill People Gear backpack, which I hope to get my hands on at some point. But then they also work to secure other items to this kit if you need it. So getting into the kit here, in this first pocket, I carry a lot of my minor items. So in the first pocket, I've got a Princeton Tac headlamp. This is the one that actually came with my SAR helmet that you guys saw. I just put it onto here, and it can be taken off this mount and put onto that helmet. So headlamp's always a good thing to have, especially if you're going to be doing overnight operations, anything like that. Coming into that same pocket, I've got a glow stick just to mark something. I probably should have a couple more in there. And then I have a couple energy chews. So if I do not have my caffeine, you know, in a day or in a couple hours, I get really angry, get a bad headache. So this is just to keep me going if we're going for a while or if we don't have coffee or access to energy drinks, anything like that. And they also have a lot of calories in them, so these will sustain you for a little while at least. Okay, this second pocket here, this is like all my minor aid items, and I've got it packed pretty tight in that pocket. In here, I took an Active Carry Technologies boo-boo kit that has, you know, ibuprofen, Tylenol, stuff for diarrhea, Band-Aids, tweezers, a X-Acto knife, things like that, just my minor care items, and it's got these for nosebleeds. Have a lighter for fire starting. I realize that that's not going to be reliable 100% of the time, but like I said, this isn't a full survival kit. This is just items of convenience and kind of just in case items as well. I've got some duct tape wrapped around some credit cards just so to keep it kind of flat. Didn't want to carry the entire roll. And then I've got some bug wipes as well as some hot packs for, you know, hands and feet if it's a cold day. When we were up staffing the marathon, you know, it was the middle of summer, and yet it was getting down to 30, 35 degrees in the mountains at night, so it was really nice to have, you know, something that can warm me up a little bit if we're sitting at a booth or a station. That's all that's in this front pocket. Coming down into the main pocket, and you guys can see how big this kit is and how much this carries. I have this stocked really, really full, as you can see, but it actually holds all of it fairly well, and like I said, it's really, really comfortable. So in the main pocket here, I have a tourniquet, and this is secured with one of the Blue Force Gear tourniquet holders. This is just a cat tourniquet in there. one of the orange ones. And this is mainly for first aid, but it is rapidly deployable for somebody else if there was an issue. I've got the Warrior X flashlight by Olight. This is just their tactical flashlight. I was looking for a use for it and needed a flashlight for this kit. So this thing's a spotlight. It's got a really, really far reach with the beam. So it's ideal for outdoor, search and rescue operations, things where I need to be able to spot, to the next hillside or, next mountainside, something like that. This kind of flashlight is very beneficial. And then I've got my headlamp for, walking or doing tasks at night. Next to that, I just have a Gerber multi-tool. It's a pretty cheap multi-tool. It's one-hand operation, which is kind of nice. Has knives, screwdrivers, all of that good stuff on the inside. So, just kind of an all-around multi-purpose tool. And both of those are secured in, this is a Blue Force Gear mag pouch. I forget exactly what it's called. It does fit a little bit tight, but it's an elastic covering. So as these sit in here for a while, I think they'll fit a little bit better. And then I have finally made use of my Raptor trauma shears, so these guys are sitting in here. And this is all secured by Molly webbing. You can see back here there's laser cut webbing, and this is actually a loop field, so if you have a patch or something you want to stick on there, you can. Really cool design in here because it just holds everything really nice on the back of the pack. It doesn't make you put everything in a pocket. In these pockets here, I've got some basic medical supplies. So I basically took everything out of a Blue Force Gear micro trauma kit and I kind of added to it a little bit. So on this side, I've got a thing of Quick Clot combat gauze. See if we can get that to focus a little bit. Quick Clot combat gauze for wound packing. You can also use it to wrap extremities if you need to. And then I've got a NAR survival wrap. So this is just a space blanket, retains some heat. If I got trapped out there, if there was, say a runner or somebody that went down or in a different wilderness situation, I've got this on me. I can throw it on them until we can get them warmed up with bigger blankets or in an ambulance with heat or something like that. Frog tape, tape is super versatile, whether that's securing a splint, securing an airway, or just holding something together. You can never have too much tape. I've got an H&H flat fold piece of gauze, so this is for, wrapping a wound if somebody's got a cut on the arm or leg, or if you need to hold in your Quick Clot after you've packed a wound. Always good to have a compression dressing. And once again, this can be used for, securing a splint or, makeshift C-collar, what have you. NPA with some lubricant on it, just in case I need to use it. And then hyphen chest seals, which are always good to have. These can be used for a variety of things, but mainly it's for your sucking chest wounds. A pair of gloves, you can't forget gloves. So these will once again have a lot of different uses. The last time I used a pair of these claw gloves, it was pulling a dead rabbit out of the front of my car. So you never know, but it's great, if you're gonna be handling blood, anything like that, you should have some kind of personal protective equipment. And last but not least, and honestly, probably the one thing you don't really need in this kit, but I carry a needle decompression, an ARS needle. So this is for a tension pneumothorax. And if I'm in the wilderness, somebody's experiencing a tension pneumothorax, this might be my only resort at that point. But, I'm going to be pretty hesitant to use that, especially if I don't have, a stethoscope or another way to confirm it. But I do carry it with me. I am trained in it. I'm a paramedic, so we go through that kind of training. Be cautious carrying one of these if you are not trained in it, however. Last thing on this is just a bracelet, and this has paracord wrapped up in it. I don't honestly know how many feet of it there are, but paracord is super useful, whether that's, making a makeshift shelter. You could combine the survival wrap with this to string it across a tree, make a small bivvy. You never know. So I had this laying around, I just threw it in the kit because it is something that's good to have. Last pocket. Now, I should mention that these kits were originally made for concealed carry. So this pocket is supposed to be where you'd keep your firearm. I don't carry a firearm when I'm doing anything for my EMS agency. It's against their policy. But you could use this for it. Some people, like if they're hiking their backwoods, Alaska, they need a bear gun, something like that. They'd put it in here, and you can do like a Velcro holster here. and connect the trigger guard to this little loop down here, and it's really easy to draw. So that's what this is originally made for. However, I kind of made this pocket the admin pocket. If there's maps or a navigational aid that I need for whatever the event is or whatever the situation is, I can put it back here. I'm carrying a signaling mirror and a compass, a pen because you need that, and then a Write and Rain notebook. You can't have too many of these if you need to take notes or write down patient information. These are great things to have. But that's pretty much what I have in the back of this. Like I said, a couple things I want to get for this kit still is something to hold the radio and then a fixed blade knife. Not so much for self-defense, but just for utilities, whatever it might be. A couple advantages to having a chest rig are, one, you can keep this on you no matter what. If you're hiking, you're going up a steep incline, it doesn't interfere with the movement of your legs like a fanny pack might. You can also wear a backpack with it. The other nice thing is that you don't have to take this off to use the bathroom or, to go about your daily tasks. You can sit in an ambulance really comfortably with it. You can sit in a chair and keep this on you. So I really like the chest rig setup because it just keeps everything exactly where I can reach it, and I don't have to take anything off to get into it. If you have any questions about this kit bag, anything I keep in it, especially any suggestions because I'm new to this role, please leave them in the comments down below. I will leave a link to most of the stuff I mentioned here, and I will see you next week.